All right, so here on the screen is the photo of Dania. I do want to quickly show you guys the behind the scenes because it's just nicer to show you guys exactly how the light setup was. This photo does have some editing, so I did process it a bit, so you're not, it's not the same as this previous photo that you're seeing, which is straight out of camera. I actually have a fully edited version right here, well, at Lightroom edit, so you guys can see exactly how I went from this point here, where it's like very green, not as colorful, to this edit right here. I'll show you guys exactly how I got to that point. One of the biggest things that I saw first when I saw this photo was the colors were just out of whack. It looked so weird. So I wanted to fix that right away. So since what I'm seeing on the screen right now is a lot of greenish tint in the skin tones, I want to correct that. I also see a little bit of, it looks a little cold, so maybe I would have to change the temperature. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the temperature, maybe bump it up. I believe I bumped it up to 3750. And it's just a bit warmer, just a tad bit warmer. What I've found whenever I warm the temperature up a bit, I always find a little bit more green skin tone. If there's already present greens in the skin tones, whenever I adjust the temperature warmer, there's extra green. So right now I know I'm gonna have to increase the magenta slider over here. The tint slider, I'm gonna have to add more magenta to that. So right now it's at +4, so it's kind of almost, even between green and magenta. I'm gonna jump it up all the way to, let's say 20. 20 does look fine, but I think what I settled on earlier was at 22, and the skin tone looks a lot more natural now. So what I usually do first, I don't actually fix the skin tones first, but it was something that was really bugging me for this photo. What I'm gonna do now is usually the first step. I'm gonna go ahead and just increase the saturation of all the colors, and the way that I do that is in Lightroom in this develop module, all the way at the bottom. This calibration section has a blue primary slider, a saturation slider, and I'm going to increase it from, it's usually somewhere between 60 to 80, but for this case, I'm going to bump it to 85. And I do really like how it looks like, but I do find the skin tones a little bit off. Usually when I increase the saturation slider here, two things happen: a bump in the oranges and a bump in the blues. So for this picture, I don't really see a bump in the oranges too bad. A little bit in the blue right here is a little saturated, but I'm gonna go ahead and now look at this photo and see, what do I really want to fix about this shot? And again, right now, what I'm seeing that I want to fix is those skin tones, because they still seem a little bit off, especially after I increase the saturation. So I'm gonna go up to this hue, saturation, luminance section. All that's going to do is just change the type of the color. What's the hue? The saturation, just how saturated that color is, and then luminance is how bright or not that color is going to be. So for now, what I'm seeing, and what typically happens whenever I want to adjust the skin tones, is I always find that I need to either adjust the oranges or the yellows, and it does depend on person's skin. So for this picture, I'm pretty sure it's going to be in the oranges. So what I'm going to do is just adjust this orange slider to the left until I see how it looks like to my eye and see how it looks fine. And I think it actually looks fine like at -20, -22. Just keep it at 20 for now. I'll show you guys actually before. That's before. Just look at the skin tones. You have to really focus on them. And then this is the after. And you can definitely see that there's more natural looking skin tones in the skin. Something else that I adjust is the yellow slider. So I'm gonna go ahead and see how that looks like. Let's see, I'm actually gonna bring it all the way left and right. Whenever I'm adjusting anything really on all these sliders, there's no actual like set thing that I'm always gonna do. I usually play with the slider going to the left and to the right, see exactly what it's adjusting, and then kind of just go based on the feeling of how I want to adjust it. I know that's not really helpful, but honestly, that's gonna be the best thing I can tell you guys. Just kind of see how it feels to you when you adjust the slider. And right now, when I adjust all the way to the left and to the right, I'm seeing when I adjust it all the way to the right, this yellow slider, it looks very greenish, like right here and over here in the shirt. Even on her skin right here, you can see right here in this area that it looks a lot more greenish. So I'm gonna go ahead and go the far left, go to like -80 or so, and keep it there, because it looked like a lot nicer when it was towards that area. It was a lot warmer, a lot redder. I do want a little bit more saturation for this photo, so I'm gonna go ahead and see how it looks like when I increase the vibrance. Let's go to 40. Actually looks pretty good. I think for now, when it comes to the colors, I'm gonna just leave it there, but I do want to adjust the photo itself in terms of exposure, all the highlights and stuff. So right now what I'm seeing is that I do want to reduce the highlights a little bit. I feel like they're a little too bright in the bokeh balls behind her. So I'm gonna go to -10. And yeah, I really do like how they look like now compared to how they were a second ago. You can just see how they look like. There's a lot more color in there. It looks like more evenly exposed rather than being a little bit bright. I definitely do want to increase the shadows a tad bit. So let's go to +15. See how that looks like. Looks pretty good. And I do want to reduce the whites a little bit just to see how it looks like. Maybe -10 would be fine. And then usually what I'll do is I'll reduce the blacks a little bit because that'll give me a nice contrast and also give me that extra saturation with the colors. So I am going to go to maybe -10. Actually, let's see, -20. Okay, -20 was too much, so I'm going to go to -15. But I already know, because I did these different adjustments right now, because it is a dark scene, I am shooting at night, there are a lot of lost details. You know, it's a little too dark in the shadows behind her and maybe around her head. So this is where I would probably stay at in terms of adjusting the exposure and colors, not necessarily adjusting the exposure selectively, but overall. So all the adjustments I did right now are applying to the entire image, but I do want to selectively adjust different things in this picture. So when I want to do that, I go to the adjustment brush in Lightroom, which is going to allow me to do select adjustments to the photo. And what I mean by that is if I want to change just her face, just a little bit of brightness on there, then I can do that. If I want to increase the eye color, I can do that. The adjustment is just basically the tool that I use to adjust different things selectively. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I would adjust this photo. I'm going to hit the keyboard shortcut, which is K. And something I always do to my photos is go to the eyes, and then I always paint over them. Right now there's nothing being applied, but I'm just kind of just painting the mask first. Then after I paint what I want to be adjusted, I'm gonna hit O so you guys can see exactly what's being adjusted. Then I go to the effect, or I can just start changing the sliders over here, but I do have a preset for eyes. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to dark eyes. And you can see that you can definitely see the eyes better. You know, obviously that's too much. So I'm gonna go to somewhere around 2. And yeah, you can see that it definitely brought up the eyes. I'll show you guys how it looks like before and how it looks like after. So I did paint a little bit over into this area, but I'm not gonna worry about that right now. And now I'm gonna go ahead and just zoom out. Like I said before, it is a little too dark over here on the sides and maybe around her head. But the whole reason why I'm using the adjustment brush to go ahead and do all these different adjustments is because if I were to go outside of the adjustment brush and just raise the shadows all the way high, it looks freaking weird. I never want to do this kind of overall adjustment to the photo. I want to do selective adjustments because it looks just too like HDR. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit Control Z. And what I'm gonna do now is just get my adjustment brush again, going to K on the keyboard. And I am gonna just kind of paint over areas that I want a little bit more exposure. And I do always have the feather at 100. You can see around the circle of the plus. The area that's hitting the brush right now is area that is going to be kind of just, you know, not so hard of a brush. It's going to be kind of painterly around the edge. It's a little softer around the edges, I guess. And right now, of course, there's no adjustments being applied, but I'll go ahead and just change that right now. Let's see, plus 40, I think I was on last time. And you can see that I am painting more of the shadow on the area around her because I just felt it was like too dark around the area around her when I adjusted the blacks to be lower. And the whole reason why I adjusted those blacks is because I felt that it would give the photo nice contrast and also a little bit of boost in saturation. Let me go ahead and just show you how this looks like. All the stuff that I painted. This is the before and this is the after. And it is kind of subtle, but it is, you know, a big change to me. Let's see if I bump the exposure up to like 0.2, maybe 0.25 actually. And you guys can see before and after. It looks good to me. I think when I last edited this picture, I did also give a little bit of a bump into exposure on the sky around here. Good thing about Lightroom is it has an update where you can just select the sky. It isn't absolutely perfect. It did get a little bit over her hair, but I think that's fine. Let's see how that's gonna look like. I did want just a tad bit more of exposure, maybe a little bit more shadows. So let's go ahead and see the shadows raised up. I do actually like it at like maybe plus 15. Let's see, 0.1. Yeah, I actually really like it like that. So that actually did a good job. I'll show you guys how it looks like before and how it looks like after. The whole reason for doing that adjustment is because I felt like the dark hair was blending too much into that dark sky. So by raising the sky's exposure just a little bit, you can, you know, see the difference. It's not blending in too much. I think honestly we're done pretty much with the Lightroom edit. This is the before, this is the after. So after we did that, now we can move into Photoshop. I actually was about to go into Photoshop right now, but I did want to show you guys how I originally edited the photo in Lightroom. It is a little bit different than what I've shown you so far, but all the basic, you know, all the things that I was telling you are exactly the same. It just took a little bit more time to fine tune the edit. So this is how I currently edit it. You know, actually, let me put this to the side. This is how I edited it for you right now on this video, but this right here is how I edited it originally. So you can see it is pretty different. But the main thing that I want to tell you is different about these two images is that I added a little bit more brightness on her selectively. So that's why she looks a little bit more whiter, less saturated. And then another thing that I did was you can actually see that this rim light here is a lot more cooler temperature. It is because the 400 Pro and the 600 Pro do have a little bit different color temperatures with the modeling lamps, which is all that I used for this picture. I didn't use the flash. So that's why it's a little bit cooler. So a few different things that I did differently with this shot here, my original edit, was I went ahead and selectively selected this area right here with the adjustment brush and just added a little bit more warmth. And I also did add a little bit more exposure, I think, to the area around her. Actually, I added less exposure and I added a little bit more brightness to her face. And I think aside from that is pretty much the same edit. Those are minor differences, but they do make a difference in how they look like on the screen right now. So I just want to let you guys know that before I show you guys this photo here in Lightroom and not this photo. So now let's actually go to Photoshop. So like I said before, here we are in Photoshop. This is the edit, the Lightroom edit that I did originally, but you can actually see how I overall finally edited the photo right here. So very different. You can see that I did add a little bit more of the saturation to her skin and amongst a lot of different things. And originally when I was making this video, I was going to show you guys how I edited it step by step, but honestly that video would be very, very long. So it'd be something that I would, I don't want to make this video way too long. So I'll just break down what I've already done. And it's a lot of different things. So let me go ahead and just start. The floor right here was bugging me. So I went ahead and just clone stamped from this area over here down that way, because I just didn't want that floor to stick out like a sore thumb. And then the colors was probably the biggest thing that I would say, aside from the wrinkle removal on the clothing, is probably the biggest thing about this photo that I really, really did like doing. So you can see this is the after, before, after. I did a lot of different things, but the main thing that I would tell you guys that I did was the selective adjustment, selective color adjustment layer. That's going to be right here on the bottom, selective color. I added a lot of different things and I'll try to break them down one by one. So let's see. The very first thing I did was, I think it was more in the blacks. Yeah, a tiny bit of cyan, tiny bit of yellow. And I think that's all I did for that. Yeah, that's all I did for that one. But those were very, very subtle. So then I went ahead and just selected only the everything around her, not her, but everything around her. It was a little bit of a time-consuming task. So let me go ahead and show you. I added a lot more warmth and reds to the background around her because I did see that there was a lot of reds there. So I wanted to kind of just lean into that. So now I'm going to go ahead and just show you guys this layer, which is everything on her, not the background. So you can see that on her skin tones, it's a lot more warmer, a lot redder, and I felt like that was very inviting. For this last selective color adjustment layer, I did adjust the blues. And again, this is something that's very, very subtle, but I'm seeing it. I'll show you guys before, and then just focus on the sky guess, and then after. It's super subtle. After that, I think I just went ahead and just fixed this area right here. There's a little bit of like blue coming through the red. So I just clone stamped that out. And then I added red over the bokeh. And then I painted over the bokeh and then just changed the blending mode to color. And then I just, did that a little bit to the background. And on this very last layer right here, I felt like the fingertips on her hand were a little bit red. So I just adjusted the colors to look a little bit more in tune with the rest of her skin tone. Now, the biggest part, aside from the color, was the frequency separation. So you can actually see, here's the after, and here's the before. When it comes to frequency separation, I usually use this to either smooth out wrinkles on the clothing or soften the skin. For this picture, I did both, but you can see that on the clothing, it's very, very noticeable. It's a very big difference. And I do want to show you guys quickly how I would go ahead and just smooth the wrinkles out. Get a new layer, hit Control-Alt-Shift-E. I think it's going to be Command-Alt-Shift-E on a Mac, and then just duplicate that layer. I'm gonna name that top one H and then the bottom one L, and then all I have to do is just hold down, select the L and then hold down Shift and then hit that top one. It selects them both now, and then put them in a folder by hitting Command or Control G, and that's gonna be basically our frequency separation. I'm gonna name it FS1 because I didn't want it to be the same name as that one right there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just hit that L, make sure that it is gonna be blurred, and I use Gaussian blur around 4. It's gonna be 4 for a 42 megapixel file, but if you use something like 24, then let's just say that's gonna be 2.5 to 3. And then now I'm gonna hit this top layer, go to image, apply image, and make sure that the layer is L right there. Yeah, L. Now I'm gonna change the blending mode to subtract and just make sure all the settings are the same. Click OK, and now you just need to change the blending mode of that H layer to linear light, and after that just make sure you click on the L, which is going to be the color. And now all you have to do from this point is make sure you get a mixture brush. So you guys know the brush tool, which is going to be a shortcut. The shortcut to that is B. Well, if you hold down the click on here, you can see mixer brush, and you can see that all the different settings that I have here on top, you can copy them, and all that it's going to do, this mixer brush, is just literally mix around the colors to however you want them. So for wrinkles, it's perfect because you can move around the wrinkles to be more in tune with the rest of the clothing. So I'm gonna make sure that I have my mixer brush selected. Okay, so here's the brush I am using on the keyboard. Where the P is, those brackets to the right side of it, you can use those to make it smaller or bigger, the brush. And all you have to do here is just honestly just paint. You are gonna be basically painting the colors onto different areas. So you don't wanna paint like a bright color into a shadow, or like a shadow into a bright color. I'll show you guys exactly what I mean. You wouldn't want to paint this color here, which is the highlight on the outfit, to the shadow behind her. You always want to kind of keep it in tune with the rest of the clothing. So for example, I don't like this shadow here, so I'm going to paint some of this highlight over here a little bit down. And usually I go down and then I go up. So then I go like that. I just keep doing that. And then overall, it starts to kind of look like it's just a good gradient. And then basically that's all I did. I repeated that process. If I didn't like this shadow, then I would paint over it while changing the size of the brush, going up and down, up and down, up and down. Basically that's all I did when it came to like the wrinkles. I just painted up and down, make sure that the shadows were where they were at and the highlights the same. And then let me just zoom out real quickly and I'll just show you real quickly. Yeah, those wrinkles being removed. That's pretty much exactly how I did that. I am going to delete it now and kind of just rush through the rest of the edit because it's honestly not that much else that I did. I did slightly increase the exposure. I made sure that the eyes were just a tad bit brighter. It's honestly super subtle. And then I did dodge and burn. So this is the before, this is the after. I will show you guys how I dodged and burned. I can hold down Alt, I think, and then click on the mask. This is everything that I dodged. Some of the forehead, her face, her lips, her arm. This is everything that I burned. The arm right here, the face around it. And let's see, I'm gonna show you guys that again. This is the before, this is the after. And then I actually did two different sections. Whenever you dodge and burn, micro dodge and burn is very zoomed in, and then global dodge and burn is very zoomed out, like the leg and everything. After that dodge and burn, then I went ahead and just removed some other distractions. I did feel that when I increased the saturation of the entire shot, it made the eyes a little bit too like bluish in the white area around her, the whites. So what I did was just got a layer to desaturate those colors around the whites of the eye, and I think a little bit in the highlight or the catch light. And then I went ahead and just sharpened the image and then added a little bit of noise to the areas where I felt like it was a little too blurry looking. Usually adding noise will it'll bring it back to earth, in other words, and actually look like there's texture there if it looks too blurry. And aside from that, that's pretty much everything that I did to this photo. If you have any questions at all, just let me know. If you guys want me to make longer videos, editing videos, then go ahead and let me know too, because usually when I make these editing videos, you guys say they're too long or they're too short. So it's kind of hard to figure out the exact amount of time. But I hope this video did help you. If you guys want to know anything else, let me know in the comment section below. Take care.